Although she is a fourth-grade student, she still has no passion for acting. But strangely, she is not at all interested in the school's hot boy, always chasing after herself. As the top 3 most excellent students in school, no one would have thought that the person she loves is the name of the handsome boy in the school. In the eyes of everyone, Jay is a man of many qualities, only likes fake relationships. Not only handsome, but also extremely rich. Rose often hides behind the audience to look at Jay. The rain makes everyone leave, but she doesn't. Looking at the diagonal line on the other person's face, along with the rolling of her hair, she is not afraid of being caught by the audience. But she is afraid of being caught by the audience. As she slowly goes deeper into the forest, Rose is lost in the crowd, more and more afraid that she is lost. Even in the midst of panic, she is still falling into the water. At a moment when Rikio does not know what to do, a sudden hand suddenly touches her shoulder. She is scared to the point of losing her mind, but finds that person is actually Jay. Jason found Rose following her, so today she's going to the forest. He asked Rose why she always follows him. Rose imagined that she had met her first time, but never thought it would be this bad. She firmly did not deny. Jay directly asked if she loved her or not. Rose was confused, but still denied. But unexpectedly, Jay immediately wrote her birthday, which was actually Rose's Wi-Fi password. Jay said he was the best at hacking computers. That day, the home Wi-Fi was broken, so he wanted to try connecting to the neighbor's network. Unexpectedly, the password was my birthday. He immediately hacked into the other person's computer. Suddenly, he discovered that there were a lot of videos, and videos related to him on the computer. At this point, everything was clear, and Rose couldn't hide it anymore, and said, "So it's still not clear, because I like you." Contrary to such straightforward statements, Jay was a little confused, but he didn't pay attention to Rose. After all, a rich man like him has no shortage of women, especially girls who actively express their feelings for him. Jay was like a bunch of strangers who wanted to use this to see Rose's talent. Unexpectedly, Rose refused. She said it bluntly, but she wanted not only his body, but his heart too. Jay seems to have heard the most ridiculous thing in this world. What he doesn't trust the most is love. So he gently took hold of Rose's string with his fingers. The cold air has completely awakened love in Rose. She couldn't control herself, and approached Jay as if she felt Riki's seriousness. So Rose was a little flustered, and avoided it. A joke like him is basically not ready to face a true love. Maybe Jay's actions disappointed Rose. After she came home, she turned off her home's Wi-Fi source. There is something Rose knows very well. There is no future for me and Jay. She just wants to see him as a star in the sky. She can look at it from afar. But when she went to bed, the star appeared in her bed, asking her why she pulled out the Wi-Fi. But maybe Jay himself didn't realize that this was just an excuse for him to come find Rose. Rose was sitting on the chair in a panic, but Jay straight down in front of her. The distance between the two people was getting closer and closer, making Rose's face friend. Jay once again chose to run away, assuming that the fate between the two people was over. But the next day, Jay happened to meet Rose working overtime. He just wanted to say hello, but when he saw Dino standing next to Rose, he felt a little uncomfortable, so he immediately invited Rose to the party tonight. Ricky found Jay in a bar alley, but when the air got colder, Rose also learned to follow Rose's actions, and then stood up straight away. On the way, Jay's younger brother was drunk. He didn't dare to go home, so he asked Rose to sleep for one night. I don't know what happened to Jay, but half the night, he crawled out of the window into Rose's room. She just woke up and received a gift, a new iPhone phone. Although she really likes Jay, she still wants to return the phone. But as soon as she stepped in, she was shocked. Although the two houses are neighbors, the situation of Jay's house and her house are different. She was taken to Jay's room unexpectedly. He directly suggested to kiss her. Rose felt that Jay just wanted to play jokes on her. Or maybe in his eyes, she and the other girls were nothing different. So she was angry and wanted to leave. But just a call made her stop immediately. Then she didn't care at all, and went back to the man she had loved for a long time. Then kiss him directly, wanting to let them officially love each other. But unexpectedly, Jay put Rose on his side and played games alone. Rose anyway knew his bad nature, so she was very sad to stand up and leave. Jay wanted to chase her away, but because of a sudden anger, she finally never stood up and kissed Rose. Maybe he was just afraid of losing face. Or maybe he didn't want to admit that a person like me loved a girl to the point of losing all the medicine. Rose was angry, and when he brought everything related to Jay to clean up, he was angry to close the door again so as not to let Jay jump in again. Jay wants to break this love, but doesn't know what to do. So when he saw Rose, he hurriedly sent a picture through it. Maybe Rose was waiting for a chance to be cool. So she took that opportunity to come to Jay's house. Unexpectedly, Jay was holding a swimming party at the pool, surrounded by pretty girls. Basically, he didn't notice her coming. Rose sat by the pool, but in his heart was very uncomfortable. Just when she was about to leave, Jay suddenly hugged her and fell into the lake. The two of them looked at each other for a while. The color was also gradually dispelled. Jay took Rose to the floor to change her clothes, and he put a string on her himself. The atmosphere gradually changed. But after waking up, Jay was like, the last time, but he didn't see the light. Because he was the future head of the group, so his father absolutely did not allow him to love any girl sincerely. That's why when he knew that he loved Rose, Jay was more and more miserable. Rose felt like he was so miserable that he decided to use alcohol to make himself less miserable. Then he fell into a hole without a shadow. But Jay actually followed her quietly. So he hurriedly went to hug her home. Rose in the middle of the night gently pulled Jay's hand, begging him not to leave her. Jay felt that she was drunk, so she didn't remember what happened yesterday. So she sat quietly next to her and spoke out her pain in her heart. It turned out that when he was still very small, he accidentally found his mother with another man next to him. So he was angry to tell his father about this. But his father was never angry. He also took out a number of photos of other beautiful women for Jay to see, then said, if you only need money, then beautiful women in this world can be comfortable. To choose in love is not the most expensive thing. It was also from then on that day, immediately felt very bored of what was called love, and even felt it was very disgusting. So when Rose wanted to be close to Jay in the forest, his first reaction was to turn around and run away. But every time he found out that he liked Rose so much that he didn't have any more medicine, he ran away according to his instinct. Jay wanted to text to tell Rosk how he felt. But the next day, when Rose woke up, he saw that both text messages were rejected. At that time, she was full of disappointment and sadness in her eyes. But a few days later, Jay tried to save this love. He put on a black and black shirt on the outside, and a white shirt inside was printed with the name of the girl in his heart. A person once felt love was like trash, like him. But now he cares about her because he wants her to forgive him, which makes the most embarrassing action. Looking at Jay's stupid face, Rose couldn't stand it and smiled. But it didn't mean that she had forgiven him for running away this time and coming again. Jay found Rose and kept apologizing to her. He treated her like that, then ran to apologize to her. He thought she would forgive him because of that. He felt she was a stubborn child. Not at all. Jay begged Rose to forgive him many times. Finally, she was also soft-hearted. Even agreed to join the makeup with him on Saturday night. But Dino still followed her and wanted to persuade her to understand the problem. A rich man like Jay would not be moved. But she was in love, so she didn't pay much attention. She decided to take a shot on Saturday night. Jay never took Rose to the party, but went to the company's yard. This is Jay's secret base. The two then spent a romantic night together, and then officially established a love relationship. But Jay's father quickly learned everything. He must have been too eager to let go of himself. But he could be with a woman who had nothing to do with him. Jay was very uncomfortable to hear that, so he left right away. Then he took Rose to the party of his family. If you want to make it clear that it's not Rose, I won't marry you. But in the eyes of parents, it's all hypocrisy and prejudice. Rose was ready for this, so she didn't care too much. But the next day, she saw her mother working here. This is Rose's father's intention. The purpose is to humiliate Rose, so she can understand the distance between her and Jay. Facing Jay chasing after her, Rose immediately slapped him. I didn't know your mother would show up here. When he was about to leave, Rose asked Jay if he had ever loved her. But when the machine was completely closed, Jay couldn't say the answer. After coming home, Rose's feelings completely collapsed. She hugged tightly and cried loudly. This is her first love. But it hurts to see her heartbreaking like that. People who are in love first will always be in love like that. Rose didn't want to end her first love so easily. So she went to Jay's house. But his family refused to let her in. She immediately sent a message to Jay, wanting him to attend her graduation ceremony. But when the party was about to end, she still didn't see Jay's shadow. When Rose couldn't stand it anymore, Jay finally ignored his parents' resistance and ran to him. But he was still loved by Dino. He yelled, "Jay is a bastard," and told Jay to leave Rose alone. Then the two of them fought outside. Jay was unlucky to fall into the pool. The more dangerous it was, he was infected with the smell of claws in the pool. After Rose knew the news, he went crazy and ran to save Jay. But Jay was so excited because of the infection. Jay's father cursed Rose, even saying she would be imprisoned. But Rose was not angry about this, but quietly stood by Jay's hospital bed. Time went by, and maybe he saw Rose's sincerity and determination. Jay's parents also agreed to their relationship. When Jay woke up, the first person he saw was Rose. There was no distance between the two of them. Only the beauty of love left, which Jay also told secretly in his heart. It turned out that when Rose fell in love with Jay, he also fell in love with her, so he was just next to Rose's house. The night of the Wi-Fi in the house was also just a coincidence. He wanted to confirm if Rose really loved him or not. We all want to have beautiful love. But when love really comes back, because there is no reason to run away. If you really love someone, you must definitely be brave. And tell the other person about your feelings. Don't let your temporary love make you regret it all your life. The movie comes here today. If you find it interesting, please like and subscribe to the channel to see more interesting movies.